So there has been a massive rise of MBA chaiwala and BTech chaiwalis in India. Now please understand that these jobs are not aspirational in nature. These are jobs born out of circumstances, so to say. No one does an MBA in order to become a chaiwala seller or a kulchawala seller, so to say. No one does a BTech in order to sell snake venom someday. This situation is brewing up in India and people are considering their role models as Elvish Yadav or Dolly Chaiwala because इनको पैसे बनाते हुए देखते हैं लोग and they eventually want to become these people. On the flip side, they get to read headlines like these कि भाई नौकरी ही नहीं है. If you do a PhD also, आपको प्यून की नौकरी करनी है. Then what is the point of studying, working hard like सुंदर पिचाई, who ended up grinding his way through? इतना टाइम लग गया था उनको Google CEO बनने में. So what's the point of studying when jobs are not there in the economy? So on this video, I'm going to speak about three things. One is that why is the job situation in India or the unemployment situation in India is so bad? Number two, is it going to change anytime soon? And third, and the most important point is that can you do something about it? How can you save yourself in this unemployment bubble that is getting formed in India? Forget about politicians. One party will sell one data, another party will sell another data. Your life will get barbad unnecessarily. So it's very important to understand, take some charge, take some action. So this is going to be an action-packed video. I'm honestly going to share my experiences. Now you might say क्या आपने क्या उखाड़ लिया, आप भी तो YouTube करते हो and all this stuff. So okay, so very quick background about me, guys. If you're new to my channel, I just want to communicate to you that I have actually done corporate jobs. I have worked with top tier consulting firms. I went to INSEAD, which is consistently ranked in top 3 business schools in the world. I worked hard. I have built startups. I do not raise VC fundings. Currently, I run a hedge fund, so I have done okay. मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा मैंने कोई महान काम कर दिया and you should consider me as your role model. Nothing like this. I'm just telling you that I believe in the power of education. I believe that the youth of our country needs better education. They need to upskill themselves. That's one way of saving yourself, saving your career. It's absolutely critical. Just because you know me from YouTube does not make YouTube as 100% of my career. If I were to go back in time 10 years and complete my education well, I would do exactly the same steps that I've done in the past. So with that spirit, I'm going to communicate this video. I'll be sharp to the point. Now, one way of dealing with high unemployment problem is to constantly upskill yourself. But the problem is that traditional business programs, they do not give you practical insights. But there is a new age business school that is addressing this problem. So let me introduce you to partners of today's video, which is Scalar School of Business. They are based out of Bangalore and they offer a management program that is designed by leaders who have built billion-dollar businesses. It exposes students to the industry by making them work on real-world projects, make them innovate and build a startup while studying, and even train them on new age technologies such as Gen AI and blockchain. These technologies will fundamentally change the business and they educate their students on these topics. The founding cohort is getting launched on August of 24. The applications are open and you can apply and get even 100% scholarships. Check the links in description and comment box and apply via these links. Now with that, let's move over to the main video. So okay, so let's go question by question and let's answer 3 questions. Number 1, why is the unemployment situation bad in India? Now many people will say that, you know what, you have political inclinations, you are showing incorrect data, this, that. So let me just show you 3 data points. You yourself tell me whether these are sensible points or not. Number 1, let me ask you that what has been the growth engine of jobs in the last 15-20 years? Automatic answer comes IT jobs. That is how cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, so to say, flourished because a lot of IT jobs came into the picture that led to the rise of people from lower middle class to upper middle class, right? So that's how migration has happened in the last 20 odd years in India. Now, what is the situation of IT jobs today in India? So these are the numbers. You can see that IT jobs, if you look at Infosys, they cut jobs in 2023, 2024. Same applies to Wipro, except for TCS. Almost all the other major firms have cut jobs both in 2023, 2024. Now you'll say कि अच्छा सिर्फ IT jobs नहीं होती, बहुत सारी jobs होती हैं. For example, manufacturing. No, manufacturing sector unfortunately hasn't grown. Manufacturing has been a very slow growth sector for India. In fact, one of the lowest growth sectors in India for the last couple of years. Again, if you look at startups, now startups में क्या होता है कि there is startup pivot that happens. For example, if you go 4-5 years back, you yourself would have noticed कि यार आप Swiggy पे या Zomato पे when you used to order stuff, 10 रुपए, 10 rupees, you could order like a cupcake or something and the person used to drive on their motorcycle and bring that cupcake for you and you used to feel very happy. Why did that used to happen? Because a lot of VC money was there in the ecosystem भाई, and startup वालों का काम क्या होता था? Customer जुटाओ. No matter how you just get customer, you just improve sales. Okay, so sales is revenue generation. That's it. No one was focused on profitability. Starting 2022, what has happened, right? So 2020 was a crisis year. 2021 VC funding got crushed. What happened in 2023, 2024? Okay, so basically startups started focusing on profitability, which meant what? Which meant that they were sensible with their hiring numbers. So again, hiring hasn't really picked up in the startup domain also. So आपको कोई growth engine समझ में आता है तो you guys let me know. So this is the first part. The second part is that if you take a look at why unemployment situation is so high in India, let me juxtapose that by showing you two data points here. Number one, you take a look at the market cap of a company like State Bank of India. Now what is the market cap here? You will take a look. It will be roughly 7 lakh crore के आसपास. What are the total number of employees at State Bank of India? So here is the data. They have approximately 240,000 employees for a market cap of 7 lakh crore. Now, what is the situation with Adani, right? Or companies like Adani. So again, let me just show you the data, exactly same analysis. So this is the market cap is roughly 3.2 lakh crore. Okay. So करीब आधे size पे है. And how many employees does Adani Group has? You guys comment in the comment box. Let me know. This will test you out also. I will tell you. I will reveal my answer somewhere along the video. The short answer is that very less. In fact, a fraction of the number of jobs that SBI gives. Now, what is happening? If you look at the public sector undertakings or PSUs, as we say, what is happening with Indian PSUs? Government has decided to divest. Is that a good decision? Well, there are pros and cons. Good decision is that, see, a lot of public money which is there, it need not be spent now because PSUs are generally speaking, those are ineffective, so to say, पैसा वैसा waste करते हैं and all that stuff. So efficiency होनी चाहिए. Government has no business in the area of business, so to say. Okay. So from that note, अच्छा step है कि public sector undertaking में government has reduced its stake, but it also means कि what, the proportionate amount of employment should have been generated by private players who are coming into the mix. Is that really happening? Again, go and revisit the story that I just told you कि SBI कितने jobs generate करता है versus Adani Enterprise, how much jobs does it generate? Why am I handpicking Adani? Because this has shown the greatest rise, so to say, in the private sector in the last 5-10 years, right? So that is the reason why I'm picking this group. Now, third related point, कि यार, we are talking that, okay, we are a $5 trillion economy, we are like $50 trillion हो जाएगी इस time तक, or like 500 trillion हो जाएगी, whatever, right? So the bottom line is that, okay, fine, economy has grown, great, awesome, but how many formal sector employment jobs are we generating? Right now, over 90% of our workforce, just for example, 100 log, if 100 people are working in India, 90 of them work in informal sector, unorganized sector. जैसे कि क्या होते हैं, जैसे फ्रूट वेंडर्स हो गए, या फिर आपके इनफॉर्मली वॉचमैन रख लेता है कोई अपने घर में, या फिर पूल क्लीनिंग के लिए लोग रख लेते हैं, एक्सेट्रा, या माली रख लेते हैं. सो दीज आर अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर जॉब्स, कोई फॉर्मलाइज्ड नहीं है यहाँ पे. Most of the jobs are in unorganized sector, so to say, which is really sad. अब now, political party A can show you data X कि भाई यार ये तो jobs हैं. Another political party will bash the other one कि नहीं यार jobs नहीं है. I have given you data. Now you think about it. Comment below, what do you think about it? Is the job situation in India rosy? Is it bad? What is happening? Okay, so I have given you my perspective. So I don't think that the job situation in India is anywhere close to being okay, right? So it's really in bad shape right now, and hopefully something is done about it. Which brings me now to the second question that, okay, fine, chalo yaar, job situation itni achhi nahi hai. Can it improve going forward, and what does the trends look like? So for this, I would encourage you to take a look at this picture. What it does is that it allows you to understand the labor force participation rate. Labor force participation matlab ki maan ke chalo 100 units of labor is there in the economy. Then out of which, let's say if 40% is the labor force participation, it means that 40% people are participating in our economy. Okay. So what has been the situation like if we look at the men's category? Okay. So this has been declining, 83.6 tha in 2000. Now it is somewhere around 77.2. If you look at females, again, it's not as if that this has gone up. This is again a general decline. If you look at rural, again, there is a decline. If you look at urban, again, there is a decline. Now, इसके यार बाल की खाल निकाल सकते हैं. We can go into the nitty-gritties of it. कि भाई ऐसा क्यों है, ऐसा है कि नहीं है, and all that stuff. This is what the data tells us, to be honest. And unfortunately, this is not moving in the right direction. Now, what is the reason why this is happening? So, according to me, there are 4 major reasons. Now, I am saying major because there can be many minor reasons also, but let me discuss 4 major ones. Number 1 is the spent on capital expenditure. Now, capital expenditure का मतलब क्या होता है? Capital expenditure means the productive use of taxpayers' money. That's an easier definition of capital expenditure. If you're spending on healthcare, then basically होता है कि lifespan in India improves. Second, if you are spending on education, then what happens that people are more skilled, they can do high quality jobs. So this is a good productive spend. But India में capital expenditure बढ़ रहा है. Yes, absolute terms में बढ़ रहा है, but in relative terms, no, it is not really increasing. The capital expenditure is really bad. On top of that, critical things, for example, education. अगर आप middle class के बारे में बात करो कि भाई GST तक लगता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये रही ISB की फीस. Who goes to ISB? अब आप बोलो कि बहुत अमीर लोग जाते होंगे. Yes, they are relatively well off, but it's not as if कि यार यहाँ पे बहुत ही अमीर बच्चे जाते हैं या something of that sort. बहुत सारे मिडिल क्लास लोग भी एस्पायर करते हैं ISB जाने के लिए. They have to pay 18% GST on ISB's fees, which is absolutely ludicrous. कि भाई आप इस तरीके की चीज़ों से भी why are you पुशिंग पीपल जो हार्ड वर्किंग मिडिल क्लास होते हैं, जो टॉपर्स होते हैं, जो GMAT वगैरह में अच्छा करते हैं, वाई आर यू डिनाइंग दैम दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड चार्जिंग लाइक 6-7 lakhs जस्ट इन GST फीस? दैट कैन बी वेव्ड ऑफ, राइट? दैट्स अ सिंपल पॉइंट. दिस इज वॉट गुड कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर कुड बी, कि आप इस तरीके की तो वेव ऑफ कर दो, राइट? दैट्स पॉइंट 1. पॉइंट 2, वॉट इज द इशू? द सेकंड इशू वाई दिस नंबर इज गोइंग डाउन एंड वेदर और नॉट दैट विल improve. The employment engines in the economy are small and medium enterprises. Just to help you understand the context, for example, if let's say that you are running a bakery. Now you will need a baker, you will probably need a server, right, who will go and serve coffee, etc, etc. You'll need a cleaner. You will require at least a team of 6-7 people to run a small cafe. अब एक small cafe कितना business करता होगा, right? I mean, रामेश्वरम cafe की बात नहीं हो रही है यहाँ पे, right? I mean, an average small cafe, how much business would it do? Not much, right? I mean, maybe they will make a profit of 1 lakh a month, maybe average मान के चलते हैं. Now for generating a profit of 1 lakh, someone is getting an employment or 10 people are getting employment. Now there are big companies, again I'll not get into name taking, they are generating millions and billions of profit. They are रिक्रूटिंग, लाइक अगर आप प्रॉफिट टू एम्प्लॉई रेशियो देखोगे तो बेसिकली 5 crore के प्रॉफिट पे दे वुड बी हायरिंग 1 person. सो दिस सिंपल एनालिसिस टेल्स यू दैट द ग्रोथ इंजन इन द इकोनॉमी आर स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस. दीज आर नॉट Fortune 500 कंपनीज. नाउ व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन इंडिया? इन इंडिया द कॉर्पोरेट टैक्सेस आर लोअर कंपेयर टू पर्सनल इनकम टैक्सेस. कंप्लायंस ऑन स्मॉल बिजनेसेस, जैसे मैंने आपको बेकरी का एग्जाम्पल दिया. अब भाई वो कोई स्मॉल बिजनेस चला रहा है, उसका 1 लाख प्रॉफिट बन के आता है. 1 लाख प्रॉफिट भाई, मतलब आई एम ऑल्सो एग्जैजरेटिंग कि 1 लाख प्रॉफिट भी बन जाए, लेकिन मान के चलो ओके फाइन, 1 लाख प्रॉफिट इज गेटिंग मेड. 12 लाख कमाने के लिए समवन हैज टू गो अपॉइंट अ CA. आप GST भरते रहो, फिर आप GSTR 1 भरो, 2 भरो एंड ऑल दैट, राइट? अकाउंटेंट मेंटेन करो. सो मेनी हेडेक्स आर देयर एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड एज हाई कंप्लायंस कॉस्ट. सो इफ द कंप्लायंस कॉस्ट फॉर स्मॉल बिजनेसेस कैन गो डाउन, इट कैन बी अ गेम चेंजर. इट वुड अलाउ फॉर दीज स्मॉल बिजनेसेस टू फ्लरिश. कोई एक एंटरप्रेन्योर होता है जिसको इंटरेस्ट होता है बेकिंग में, आर्ट मेकिंग में वगैरह वगैरह, भाई इसको नहीं करना यार, इतना फाइनेंस नहीं समझनी उसको. सो व्हाई आर यू पुशिंग देम फॉर लाइक सो मेनी कंप्लायंसेस? Make life easy on them. They will focus on growing their business. Maybe just having 1 bakery, they can have 3-4 bakeries and they can add more jobs. This is point 2. Number 3, the critical problem in India is lack of quality jobs. Now I will name an economist, Dr. Raghuram Rajan. बहुत से लोग शुरू हो जाएंगे, वो कांग्रेस एजेंट हैं, वो ये हैं, वो हैं. भाई सबसे पहले, if your mindset is poor, if you cannot separate people from political ideologies, their ideas, then you are already mentally bankrupt. Nothing in the world can save you. Now कांग्रेस के लोगों के पास भी बहुत अच्छे आइडियाज़ हैं, BJP के लोगों के पास भी बहुत अच्छे आइडियाज़ हैं, बहुत सारे इकोनॉमिस्ट होते हैं. आई लव रीडिंग वर्क ऑफ ऑल द इकोनॉमिस्ट इंक्लूडिंग डॉक्टर राजन. दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट आई एम XYZ पार्टी सपोर्टर. सो ऑन दैट नोट, डॉक्टर राजन had said that, you know what, the service sector economy should be pushed, service sector jobs should be created. अब ऐसा कहा क्यों गया है, राइट? बिकॉज सी, थिंक अबाउट इट, इंडिया में जो लैंड प्राइसेस हैं लैंड के, दोज आर वन ऑफ द हाइस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जस्ट फॉर कॉन्टेक्स्ट, पर स्क्वायर मीटर रेट ऑफ रियल एस्टेट ऑफ दुबई is half the rate that of Mumbai. Okay, this is, I'm not kidding, this is actually the fact. अब आप आर्ग्यूमेंट बिठा लो कि एवरेज इनकम वहाँ पे मुंबई में ज़्यादा होगी, नहीं है भाई, दुबई में ज़्यादा है. तो पर कैपिटा इनकम ऑफ दुबई इज हायर देन मुंबई. बट डिस्पाइट दैट द रियल एस्टेट ऑफ मुंबई इज डबल दैट ऑफ दुबई. नाउ व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर इज लॉट ऑफ ब्लैक मनी इन द रियल एस्टेट मार्केट. नाउ व्हेन देयर इज लॉट ऑफ ब्लैक मनी इन द रियल एस्टेट मार्केट, द कॉस्ट ऑफ कमर्शियल शॉप्स गो अप, कॉस्ट ऑफ एवरीथिंग अराउंड यू गोज अप, क्योंकि सारी चीज़ें कमर्शियल के एंगल से ही तो चलती हैं. ऑफिस स्पेस आपकी एक्सपेंसिव है, तो ऑफिस स्पेस की जो रेंट दे रहा है वो कहाँ से निकालेगा रेंट? वो भाई एम्प्लॉय की सैलरी कट करके निकालेगा. दैट्स हाउ इट विल बी, राइट? सिमिलरली किसी को शॉप चलानी है, अब नाउ बेचारा लाख रुपए पे शॉप उठा रहा है, तो नाउ हाउ ही विल हायर लाइक 2 more people to do that. So everything goes into real estate, so to say. In simple words, the cost of capital in India is very very high. Okay, and therefore जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जॉब्स होती है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करने के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए भाई? लैंड, लेबर, कैपिटल, ये तो चाहिए. सो देयर फॉर द कैपिटल गोज अप वेरी वेरी हाई. इफ यू पुट दैट फैक्ट्री समवेयर इन अमेरिका, मे बी आपका खर्चा कम है कंपेयर टू दैट इन इंडिया. देयर फॉर सो मच ऑफ FDI कैपिटल डज नॉट कम टू इंडिया एंड स्टे इन इंडिया, एंड वो जॉब्स नहीं जनरेट होती. देयर फॉर फोकसिंग ऑन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर, येस इट शुड बी डन. नो वन इज अगेंस्ट दैट. सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मेक इन इंडिया, मेक XYZ एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. प्रैक्टिकली व्हाट हैज बीन डन, दैट नीड्स टू बी सीन. बट व्हाट कैन बी डन आर सर्विस सेक्टर क्वालिटी जॉब्स. सर्विस सेक्टर IT grew in India because we were exporting so much stuff. Companies like Infosys, TCS, they exported stuff. बहुत कम इंडस्ट्रीज इंडिया में अभी तक ऐसी आई हैं which are truly exporting to the world, and IT is one such industry, and more such industries need to be created, and they are most likely to succeed in service sector jobs. So focus on service sector is the key. Fourth point is that we have inability to retain talent. Now why is that? Because बहुत सारे reasons हैं उसके. Number one is the hitting of glass ceiling. कि for example या मान के चलो कि if you get like a 1 crore job, okay, now very few 1 crore jobs are there. Now if someone is extremely smart, bright, intelligent, they are extremely capable people, would they not want to earn 1 crore? They would. Where would they find such opportunities? Most likely outside India. So those are high paying jobs. Now we need those type of high paying jobs. These are private equity, VC, consulting, investment banking, front end jobs. These are the type of jobs that our politicians should focus on bringing in the Indian economy. High end artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. etc. For this we cannot have the mindset कि नॉट मिलियन माइग्रेशन होने दो. नो, या उन पर टैक्स लगा देंगे अगर वो जाएंगे बाहर. तो ये थोड़ी होता है यार. आई मीन अब तो डंडे वाली अप्रोच हो गई है. दैट इज नॉट द वे टू रिटेन टैलेंट. द वे टू रिटेन टैलेंट इज वेरी सिंपल, दैट यू गिव देम रिकग्निशन, यू गिव देम अप्रिसिएशन. इफ समवन इज अ हाई परफॉर्मर, देन गिव देम मोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज. सो दैट इज हाउ यू रिटेन टैलेंट. दे ऑल्सो फील लॉयल टू यू. इंडिया में द नेट मिलियनर माइग्रेशन इन द वर्ल्ड इज नंबर 2, राइट? चाइना में करीब करीब देयर आर 10,000 मिलियनर्स हु माइग्रेट. इंडिया में करीब करीब इट्स 8.5-9,000 के आसपास. नाउ विल से कि अच्छा चाइना नंबर 1 है. चाइना, नो, it's not like that. China में number of rich people are also very high, right? So number of millionaires in China are much more compared to that of number of millionaires in India. So अगर आप ये adjustment कर दो, then India will be far far higher. So this is not a good situation in India, and something needs to be done about it. So then comes the final point कि देखो यार अक्षत, बहुत अच्छी बातें करनी है आपने, right? And सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, right? That okay, ये नहीं हो रहा, वो नहीं हो रहा, employment नहीं है, crib कर लिया आपने and all that stuff, भड़ास निकाल लिया and what not, कि आपको बना देते हैं मंत्री, आप बन जाओ. नहीं, मुझे नहीं बनना. But yes, if some politician feels that I can be of help, I'll be more than happy to give my services for free, but I have no interest in joining politics. Now, so again, I will give you 4 specific pieces of advice, and these are some things that you yourself can do. So you're not dependent on any politician per se. Number 1, there should be apprenticeship based model. Now this can be done by institutes at an institute level कि भाई आप कॉलेज वॉलेज जाते हो उसमें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन आई वेंट टू NCR, देयर वाज अ प्रोग्राम कॉल्ड एज एंटरप्रेन्योर इन रेजिडेंस, जहाँ पे दे यूज टू इन्वाइट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, दे यूज टू लेट द MBA cohort work with them on some startup, and that was very nice, right? So that was facilitated by the educational institute itself. So this can be done at an educational institute level, चाहे वो कोई भी कॉलेज हो. This can be done or made as a part of curriculum by the national state government, so to say. This can be done. Third, you yourself can do it. For example, you start approaching people on LinkedIn whom you look up to. मेरे साथ experiment मत करना, but do it on some other people. First, go and engage with them on social media platforms. Cultivate a relationship. How do you do it? For example, आप मान के चलो कि I am writing some post या some other person is writing some post. Engage on that post. Engage का मतलब ये नहीं like button दबा के भाग गए. No, that's not engagement. Engagement means that you write thoughtful content, you write something nice, you give a useful point of view politely. So all that is called as engagement. So समझ में आने लग जाता है यार. I mean, everyone reads like at least कुछ posts and all that stuff. So उससे क्या होता है कि you are able to cultivate a relationship. Then ask to work on some practical project with them. So ये आपको cultivate करना पड़ेगा relationship first. This is very important. Apprenticeship is extremely critical important because you learn things really really fast. Now second key point that we can institute something called as a reward system. Now reward system का मतलब क्या होता है कि for example यार जैसे basic minimum guarantee होती है, right? किसी भी चीज़ की. For example, if you go to a college, okay, and if that college cannot provide you 3 lakh 4 lakh rupee job, then उस college जाने का point क्या है, right? I mean that's plain and simple, right? College is charging you lakhs and lakhs of fees कि भाई हम आपको knowledge दे रहे हैं. Knowledge का आप क्या करोगे, right? There is no reward at the end, no. So make things accountable, make colleges accountable. आपको literally बोलना पड़ेगा कॉलेज को कि भाई if you are charging so much fees, this is the minimum guarantee that you need to give. Now you might say that okay, this is a ludicrous idea, right? कि how can you give guarantee? आपको interview अच्छे से ना करे. Okay, fine. What you can do is that, for example, the college placement cell needs to be made accountable that these are the number of companies that should visit your campus if you are charging fees X. And this is called as creating a merit-oriented program. भाई अब कोई college है, उसमें दम नहीं है कि वो 5 कंपनी भी ला पाए. Why are they charging lakhs? It just does not make any sense. And students should write with the education ministry with this idea. If you are watching this video, please go collect signatures from your class and write it to the education ministry. Maybe they will take a look at. Otherwise, go on Twitter. Twitter पे बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें एक्टिव हो जाती हैं. You go write कि मैंने ये अक्षत का वीडियो देखा था. This is an idea that I have suggested, and here are like 50 signs. Is that stuff? I will try to make it viral, right? So that's all I can do for you. So creating this reward system is critical. Number 3, that what can you do? So there are 2 things that you need to differentiate on. One is called as entrepreneurship. Now entrepreneurship is really tough, right? Entrepreneurship का मतलब हमें लगता है कि यार फैक्ट्री कहीं बनानी पड़ेगी, स्टार्टअप करना पड़ेगा, तो फंडिंग रेस करनी पड़ेगी. अब कहाँ से फंडिंग रेस करें? वी डोंट नो हाउ टू क्रिएट लाइक अ पिच डेक, वी डोंट नो हाउ टू गेट फीचर्ड ऑन शार्क टैंक और व्हाटएवर, राइट? सो करनी नहीं है, राइट? आई मीन ऑनेस्टली लाइक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वो नहीं है, राइट? बेसिकली व्हाट यू शुड लर्न इज हाउ टू बिल्ड small profitable businesses. Now what is the meaning of small profitable businesses? मैं आपको 10 एग्जाम्पल दे सकता हूँ, right? For example, I have built at least 15 small profitable businesses, so to say, and ये रहा एक पूरा वीडियो. You guys go and watch it, that how did I build my Airbnb, so to say. आप वो आराम से जाके देखो. I have used that as a case study. You can apply that. Now इनसे क्या हम कैसे कर लें भाई? For example, Airbnb में there is a concept called as arbitrage. Now arbitrage क्या होता है? Arbitrage basically ये होता है कि for example you are not buying any property. You are simply going and speaking with a homeowner and you are telling them that, hey, you know what boss, your property is vacant. Can I please list this on Airbnb? And if you have ability to market it, if you have ability to operate it, you can do it. And Airbnb में कोई आपको बहुत पढ़ाई करने की ज़रूरत है कि भाई आपको PhD करनी पड़ेगी तभी आप Airbnb चला सकते हो and all that stuff. No, people are extremely entrepreneurial. Westerners are very entrepreneurial in terms of running this Airbnb arbitrage. But in our country, the problem is कि भाई वो दिन भर बैठ के एल्वेश यादव देखते रहेंगे, राइट? या फालतू के ब्लॉग्स देखते रहेंगे, या वो फालतू के पॉडकास्ट देखते रहेंगे कि ये टी होता है नहीं होता है. भाई होता है, तुम्हें क्या करना है? ये टी होता है कि नहीं होता? फोकस ऑन इंप्रूविंग योर स्किल सेट. ये टी हो जाएगा तो आप क्या कर लोगे? सो प्लीज अवॉइड दिस टाइप ऑफ नॉनसेंस कंटेंट एंड फोकस ऑन थिंग्स दैट आर एक्चुअली गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट यू. देयर इज सो मच स्टफ, सो मच डिस्ट्रैक्शन इन द सोसाइटी राइट नाउ दैट इफ यू आर नॉट फोकस्ड, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट एनीवेयर. विच ब्रिंग्स मी टू द फाइनल पॉइंट, विच इज अराउंड योर माइंड सेट टुवर्ड्स वेल्थ. दिन भर ये मत सोचते रहो कि यार सामने वाला तो बहुत अमीर बनता जा रहा है, यार अक्षत तो यार बहुत पैसे कमाता जा रहा है एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. उससे आपका क्या हो जाएगा? आई यूज्ड टू डू वेल इन माई कॉर्पोरेट जॉब also. If I would have stayed in my corporate job, I would have become a partner, I would have still made millions of dollars. Okay, that's a fact. I'm not saying this to boast, I'm just telling you the reality. ये सर मैं नहीं हूँ, जितने भी लोग, almost everyone in my class who has graduated from INSEAD is making extremely good money. Why? Because to get into INSEAD, you have to have like very solid GMAT score. You have to do really well. You have to get good jobs, whatever, right? So I mean, it requires a lot of effort to get into that. Similarly, if you have gone to a good IIT, good rank, all that stuff, तो आप अच्छा वैसा बनाओगे यार, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम थोड़ी है. बट वॉट डू पीपल डू? ये यूट्यूबर कोर्स बेच रहा है. भाई आप कोर्स देख तो लो कि किस तरीके का कोर्स है. इज इट बेनिफिशियल फॉर यू? कैन यू लर्न समथिंग फ्रॉम दैट पर्सन? कैन यू अंडरस्टैंड दोज कॉन्सेप्ट्स? इज देयर ROI फॉर यू? क्या भाई सामने वाले ने आपको देव गढ़वी टाइप का कोर्स लगा के बेच दिया, राइट? एंड आपने ज्वाइन कर लिया वो फालतू का कोर्स. देन ऑफकोर्स लाइक देव गढ़वी इज ऑल्सो यूट्यूबर, सम अदर एजुकेटेड पर्सन इज ऑल्सो यूट्यूबर. यू कांट कंपेयर दोज कोर्सेज, सो टू से. Look at if the other person is selling you some course or how they have built their wealth. Are they sharing something which is worth learning? Focus on that. Those are more important points. अगर आप सिर्फ jealous होते रहोगे सामने वाले से कि इसने तो अपनी wealth बना ली, मैं तो बना नहीं पा रहा. Another example, right? There is one uncle. अगर मैं उनको 30 seconds की space दे दूँ on my video, then he makes like 1 hour video criticizing me. So I have like no interest in arguing with him. Basically, he was against like Goa Airbnb. गोवा में Airbnb नहीं करना चाहिए, एकदम रद्दी है गोवा Airbnb, this that. भाई I built, right? I started buying from 2022. 2023, I now have 5 properties, so to say. Again, not saying this to boast. There was an opportunity to do this. अब आप जाओ ढूंढ लो आप गोवा में Airbnb. Now again, there is very difficult to buy properties in Goa because there has been so much interest in the last 2-3 years. That interest was not created due to me. That interest was created because the property market in Goa was going up. Anyone who invested made a lot of money, so to say, including me, and that was a legitimate arbitrage. So listen to all sides, but please do not believe in pessimism. Criticize करने वाले 1000 लोग पड़े, right? I mean, they will keep on criticizing you no matter what you do. Please differentiate between industry practitioners, learn from them. Please avoid people who just keep on talking negative stuff. Please avoid people from whom you cannot learn and execute anything. For example, on this video, I would have taught you at least one education-oriented point that you can go and execute. If that is the case, then A, press the like button, and B, follow this channel, and C, execute it. Because when you execute it, that is how your skill set will go up, and that is how you will prevent yourself from this unpredictable world that we are living in, where there is no job guarantee anymore, and the situation does not seem to be improving. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.